Thank you, members of the Fourth Estate. We are honored by the short notice we've given you, and you've come in large numbers. This shows how you take matters football very serious. We won't go into much rhetoric. We have a press statement. You heard from the Federation the decision they made yesterday in regard to our ill-fated match on Sunday against Kakamega Homeboyz. And as a management, we felt it was very unfair and it was not in the spirit of fair play and football. So here I'm accompanied by my secretary, by my treasurer, Mr. Oliver Napali, our committee member, Karo Walusaga, and the chairman of all branches in Kenya of AFC Leopards, Mr. Franklin Imbenzi. Actually, his team is the one behind the vibrancy you are seeing in our fans attending matches in large number. So we will just go through the press release, and then we will give it to you. Then maybe welcome any questions, so that at the end of the day, when we leave here, we are clear with one or two issues that are happening. So the press release, April 20th, 2023, unfair decision of FKF League and Competitions Committee on Kakamega Homeboyz FC versus AFC Leopards match. We express our deep disappointment and concern over the unfair decision of the FKF League and Competition Committee regarding the match between Kakamega Homeboyz and AFC Leopards. During the hearing, there was a hearing, and during the hearing conducted by the committee, we presented compelling evidence to highlight the inadequate security measures and poor officiating that marred the match. We also raised serious concerns about the biased and unreliable nature of the match commensayer's report, which seems to have influenced the committee's decision. However, it is disappointing to note that our presentation was disregarded by the committee, and the decision did not take into account the issues of inadequate security and poor officiating that significantly impacted the outcome of the match. This raises questions about the fairness and credibility of the committee's proceedings and their commitment to uphold the principles of justice and fairness in football. Furthermore, we are not aware of what evidence or representation was made by Kakamega Homeboyz FC to the committee. The lack of transparency and information regarding the opposing team's submission further undermines the integrity and fairness of the decision-making process, and moreover, the allegation made against our coach, Mr. Patrick Osems, and Lawrence Webo are very, very untrue. By asking the players to go to the dressing room for their safety because fans had already descended into the pitch, they acted appropriately and did not stir the crowd in any manner, as portrayed by the Federation and some media quarters. It's unfair to hold them accountable for any unfortunate turn of events that we saw in Kakamega. In fact, the coach was trying to calm down the fans. As a football club, we have always insisted for fair play and sportsmanship. This ones we give it a priority. We expect a fair and impartial hearing when our team's interests are at stake, like now, and we believe that the decision of FKF League and Competition Committee in this case has failed to meet this expectation. We urge the FKF to review and reconsider the decision, taking into account our evidence and concerns about inadequate security, poor officiating, and the biased match commissioner's report. We also call for greater transparency and fairness in the decision-making process of the FKF League and Competitions Committee. We remain resolute in our pursuit of justice and will not rest until our concerns are addressed and our team's rights are protected. Thank you. Signed by the chairman, and this is from the management of AFC Leopards. Thank you so much. Maswali kwa Kiluya, Kiswahili, kwa Kizungu. I believe some of you are there and you saw what happened. And that's why we are asking for justice. It's unfortunate we can make sure that we get about 37 buses from Nairobi to Kakamega to go and watch a football match in the spirit of Jaza study, in the spirit of resurrecting our football. And we end up with what we saw at the stadium. And finally, but not least, to add injury to insult to injury, we end up with a referee with such decisions. We feel aggrieved as a club. And of course, our members and fans are up in arms. And this is why we want fair hearing. We want the punishment given to the club. We don't know whether it was punishment to finish the club. It's been like given cries or 10 folds harder. Anyway, I open it for you guys. Any question to any of us?
So the federation is attributing the news to supporters. What are your comments?
Thanks, Ashiundu. In a football match, there are two sets of supporters, opposing and supporting. And whether a match is well secured, we have seen better infrastructures in Europe or elsewhere in the world, but security still remains paramount. We distance ourselves from the accusation that our fans actually caused the abandonment. If all the rules that govern hosting or holding a football match were put in place, I believe that that match could not be abandoned. We raised the issue before the match. Our team manager, Mr. Albert Wesonga, raised the issue before the match. I raised the issue after we started sensing trouble with the match commissioner, that there seems not to be enough security. And we ended up counting only 8 uniformed police officers, which is inadequate even for a school match, a school football match. Yes, Arocho?
I don't argue your comment as far as the teaching nation is concerned, the beating up of the referee. You condemn it, you support that act. I don't argue and make any reference to that in your statement.
Of course, we are here to discuss the decision of the committee. But as a club, we condemn acts of hooliganism, pitch invasion, with the strongest term possible. But again, when you look at the circumstances that precipitated this and provoked what happened, we strongly believe that the buck fully stops with the organizers of that match. In fact, it was very unfortunate for such a magnitude of a match, seeing fans just jumping into the stadium, coming to the stadium for free, with nothing to deter them from walking into the stadium free. So at the end of the day, if we don't put measures in place to deter whatever happened, it will always happen. And that's why it is important to make sure that we play our role as a club, because as AFC Leopards, we have really played our role. Since our football went down, and now we are trying to bring football, the Kenyan football up, with fans not attending matches at the stadium, we have actually been playing a role to try and drive fans back to the stadium. But if we get a slap in our face for doing that, because somebody slept on his job, the competence of a referee is a key ingredient for a successful football match. For example, if today Kenya Airways decides that a matatu driver will fly their passengers from Nairobi to Mombasa, I can tell you for free that plane will crash. I think with the refereeing we are seeing, those are the things that are making our football start losing the ground that it had gained. Hooliganism is unacceptable, but we, as the key stakeholders, as leaders of football in this country, must put measures in place to make sure that we don't provoke those crowds, to make sure that everything is held in harmony. And at the end of the day, we will not see such scenarios. We have played Kakamega Homeboyz in serious matches, high-stake matches than that, but we haven't seen this. So for today, for us to be here because of such a decision that the leagues and competition has made, it's unfortunate.
What's next? In any case, don't keep your phone. What's next? The money down the document.
As a club, we shall exhaust each and every channel that is available to us, legal channel, to make sure that justice is served, and not just served but seen to prevail. Because this is a very big setback, not only for AFC Leopards, but also for football in Kenya as a whole. There was a Zoom meeting on Tuesday, where our CEO attended, Team Doctor, and also Team Doctor. And of course, it was a sham because it is only us who presented. The key reports from the referee was not there, from Homeboyz was not there, from the match commissioner was not there. No one was cross-examined. So we believe that by the time they were calling for that meeting, they'd already made decisions, number one. Number two, the sanctions they've given us. When you tell us you are locking our fans out for 4 matches, and at the same time fining us 500,000, that is a double punishment. Are you looking at finances to punish us, or what is behind this decision you're making? Because when you fine us, it has a financial implication to us. When you lock out our members, our fans, it has a financial implication to us. Secondly, you are trying to punish the members. But at the same time, these are the members, these are the fans who make the game beautiful. Do you think that that punishment or those sanctions will actually deter them from doing the same next time? When you're correcting your son or you're correcting your daughter, you have to also to do it with love. You don't come to correct your son or daughter by killing them so that tomorrow you don't have a son or daughter who will make the same mistake. No, you have to correct them with love and make sure that at the end of the day, they understand the mistake they have made. But now you tell them 4 matches out, you want them to bring money to our opponents. You don't, when you're not addressing what happens when we play, for example, we shall be playing a local derby, Mashemeji derby with Gor Mahia. Do you want our fans to come and pay so that our opponent get the money? Or what do you want to achieve with the sanctions you've given? Those are the questions we've been asking, and those are the questions we want the federation to answer. We are not content with this decision. We are not content with how they've gone about it. And we feel, a good example is the coach's decision. There is no way a coach, whether of whatever caliber, will want his players to mingle with the fans. When the fans came onto the pitch, that is when the coach and the technical bench and players walked out. Even Homeboyz team left the pitch because there was no security whatsoever. So you cannot leave your team on the pitch of play and everybody, it's a madhouse, everybody's in there. Yeah. Yes? Nadhania tumeshangaa sana ukiangalia sheria za mpira zile zinasimamia uandalivu wa mechi za ligi. Timu ya nyumbani ndio inasimamia security. Na katika hii instant timu ya nyumbani ilikuwa Kakamega Homeboyz. Hivi leo hajatuambia ni nini ama ni adabu gani wamepatia Kakamega Homeboyz kuhusikana na ukosefu wa security katika kiwanja siku hiyo ya Jumapili. So sisi tunashangaa kama kuna jambo, kama kuna shida na kuna watu wawili wanagombana, lazima uangalie kiini kia labda hii tukio yote imetokea sababu ya AFC Leopards peke yake, ama hii tukio yote pia Homeboyz walikuwa na role ile waliplay. Kusema ukweli, ukiwa fair, Homeboyz wameplay role kubwa zaidi kushinda hata AFC Leopards. Because sisi tukicheza hapa, hata saa zingine tunacheza katikati ya wiki, pali mashabiki ni wachache zaidi. Tunaambiwanga tulete 2 platoons za GSU na regular police 20 uniformed. Sababu hiyo tu kuona au askari inakuwa deterrent ya mtu wote anaweza taka kuleta fujo. But wakati hawako kabisa, ni nini unafanyia Homeboyz kuhakikisha kwamba mechi ijayo watahakikika wanachangamuka na watafanya kila kitu ile iwezekanavyo kukuwe na security katika hiyo kiwanja? Hatujaona vitu kama hizo. Na pia mwisho kumalizia, hata referee hatujaambiwa referee ile kila mtu aliona ni serious incompetence. Ni hatua gani federation imechukua ama hiyo league and competition committee imechukua kuhakikisha kwamba vitu kama hizi hazitatokea katika mechi nyingine? Lakini hatusemi kama wangeseme Homeboyz wako na nini ya kujibu na wametupatia hizi sanctions zote tungekubali. Hatukubaliani nazo kabisa, sababu hii ni kuua mpira, na yetu tumejaribu kutengeneza mpira na tumefika pale tumefika.
Mimi kivyangu binafsi jinsi nisikuwa Kakamega, lakini jinsi nilivyoona hiyo video huyo referee
Kwa sasa bado hatuna habari because hakuna ripoti yote ile tulipatiwa kama AFC Leopards kujua ni what report iliandikwa na match commissioner juu hiyo, because those were issues zilipatiwana na timu yetu. Some of the allegations kusema sisi the officiating was very poor, zilikuwa documented well na wakati tuliandika barua katika FKF sio, but there's nothing tumepata from FKF in regard to the poor officiating, in regard to the security. The only thing wamebase ni FC ni kama ndio ilikuwa at fault. Naona if you look at right now as the treasury of AFC Leopards, tumebaniwa mechi 4. We are going to lose almost close to 3 million depending with the time ile game inachezwa. The FKF does not have a sponsor. How do they expect the club to run? Hizo ndio maswali nitakana tujibu. Naona they should not be a one-sided in making decisions. They should look at both sides of the coin so that they can decide on something when they have all the evidence in place. Lakini hao wamechukua report ya Matchcom au ile hawajashare na sisi, wamechukua report ya referee hawajashare na sisi na we make decision. They should call us on a round table, each of us to give a report so that at least tujue where is the problem. But they should not just make a decision based on hearsay na vitu zingine. That is because even in the pre-match asubuhi vile my chairman amesema, we say the issue of security was raised. Hata Matchcom alisema yeye hapa kama hakuna polisi wa kutosha it's not proper. But he went ahead and
agreed for the match
to go on. So kuna vitu zingine zile FKF pia lazima come out clear and very clear in terms of implementation of the security and other measures. I think vile chairman alikuwa amesema hapo awali, mabasi 37 zilitoka Nairobi. Na sisi tumekuwa tukibuild fan base yetu through the branches. Na tunawaambia the importance of attending our matches whether home and away. Now we are trying to bring football back to where it was before, unaona. And that is the motto that sisi kama club tunafanya. Kama watu na nia zingine huko nje, hiyo ni juu yao, but sisi what we want is to see football going up. That kama watu wananiambia na FC, it's up to them. But primary responsibility is to bring football back to where it was before.
Na hii excuse ya mtu anasema ati tulikuwa tulifungwa na bid kwa hapa mabao 4. Referee alipigwa? Hakupigwa. Homeboyz washatufunga huko mara ngapi? In fact mpaka walikuwa na Twitter majina mengine. So what we are just trying to say in a nutshell, it is important sekta zote, mareferee, fans, sisi kama club, players, tuhakikisha kwamba tunacheza role yetu. Sababu mwishowe tusipocheza role zetu, tuna end up with such things. Na hizo zinarudisha mpira nyuma sana. Ile hatua tulikuwa tumepiga kama club na pia tulikuwa tumepiga kama mpira ya Kenya, sasa itarudi nyuma with those ugly scenes. Na tulikuwa tumefika pale mpaka familia zimeanza kuja kwa stadium. But when you have such incompetence on the pitch, alafu pia you have no security, vitu kama hizi zitatokea.
At the same time, what message does it send to the sponsors? Very important. And it's not about the team, it's about how the federation is running the league. Is it in good fairness of all the clubs?
Suppose they fail to change that decision. Are you planning to appeal to another higher court?
Of course, we will have to exhaust each and every mechanism, internal mechanism that we have. Na tukishindwa na za ndani, we'll see what to do next. But we just want justice to be served. It is very unfortunate on what happened last Sunday. We have been doing that. And of course, from this incident, we will step up our awareness, our education awareness on what must be done by our supporters. You remember we used to have scenes of hooliganisms where people could break seats at Kasarani. Now it has stopped. And the reason why we have branches, that's an infrastructure to make sure that we police each other. And when our fans come to the stadium, we know the areas that each branch sits. And in case of anything, we can even identify the person who has done that. It's very unfortunate what happened in Kakamega, but we as a club, we put our hand and know that it happened because of two issues: the referee and lack of security, which are not squarely in our docket in regards to that match in Kakamega. They are not clear because they said our matches. Our matches, that means our home matches. The cup match, we are neither home nor away. It is their match. And it's very unfortunate if they'll be looking forward maybe to make money from our fans, and yet they're denying us revenue from the same funds.
So do you think your fans will attend the away matches under this regime?
Of course, we have to give some direction, and we are looking forward to meet as a committee, and also to meet the leadership of the fans. Those are the branch chairmen and secretaries, to get a way forward. Because we have to consult, and we have to consult widely, because this is something affecting the entire football in this country. Stadiums that started becoming beautiful when you see stands, people dancing, people supporting, people singing. But when now you lock them out, we play in empty stadiums, it will have some serious repercussions to both football, to the club, and to the country at large.
Mr. Chairman, do you feel what is happening? Do you feel FPF is incompetent to run football in the country?
Let's not go there. Let's focus on this issue. And we feel that issue, it's not been handled well. We really pray they reconsider and rescind this decision they've made, because it is not in good faith. There's no way you can punish your son as hard as these guys are trying to punish us. You punish the fans, you punish the club, you punish everything that is related to AFC Leopards. We are a serious and key stakeholder of football in this country. I think by what they've done, they're just inciting our fans more, which to me is more dangerous. If it was a fair hearing and then fair sanctions are given, we go back to our fans and tell them, here is where we are. Of course, this is wrong by people invading the field, by us running battles, whatever was witnessed in Kakamega. But again, when you go back to your fans with such decisions, they feel like the federation is against us, which we don't want to go there. And it will be very hard to convince them if these are the decisions that the federation can give us. I saw a hand up here. Arocho, your hand was up. Okay. So, Happiness, I think we are through. Thank you for coming. And you are the custodian and the eye of football in this country. Kindly let us raise these serious issues that we are seeing happening to football. Denying fans coming to the stadium because of a few elements here and there will kill our football. We want our refereeing to be not 100% up to standard. 60% is acceptable. I have never seen a linesman throwing stones back to the fans. We don't know what measures or what sanctions they've been given. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you circulate to the